Hello and a very warm welcome to this Christmas special of Sydney Direct. I'm Natalie MacDonald. Now, the Australian housing market has been one of the big financial stories of the year over here in Australia. I'm talking to Hans Kunnen today of St George Bank to give us a little bit more info. Hans, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us for this Christmas special of Sydney Direct.
Well, thank you for coming in.
No problem at all. Okay, so today we're talking housing. In your view, was Australian housing on its way to overheating through 2014?
Parts of it were, parts of it weren't. The heat has been in Sydney, and particularly the CBD areas and anything with a view of the Opera House and water. The suburbs have seen growth, but I wouldn't put it to sort of overheating bubble state. Yes, it's certainly been strong, but we had a flat period beforehand, a bit of catch-up. So no, population growth is strong, interest rates are low, you would expect house prices to rise. If we did it 3 years in a row, then we might be heading for bubble territory.
Was the RBA right then, in your view, to intervene verbally in the way that it did?
I think the Reserve Bank was being prudential. They have to warn banks against any potential risky lending because that could affect the financial system. They have to make it clear to investors that, hey, house prices do sometimes fall. Keep that in mind. This headlong rush into property has caught the breath of some, and certainly the Reserve Bank. But yes, I think it was wise of them to point out the risks to everybody because it could end in pain, as it did in America 5 or 6 years ago.
Now, moving into the new year, you're an advocate of housing supply, experiencing what some may call a boom, and therefore easing prices a little. Can you expand on this thinking for us?
What we're seeing is a lot of building approvals. The population is growing, particularly in New South Wales, but around the country the population is growing. They've got nowhere to live, and we've seen building approvals pick up markedly. They are above their 10-year averages, so that tells us that next year there is going to be a lot of building based on the approvals that were done late 2014. So supply will increase. The other thing that could choke off the boom in prices is the fact that the price point. Many first home buyers simply A, can't save up the deposit, and then B, buy a place. So there comes a time when demand will dry up simply because prices have become too exorbitant.
How does this shape then what you expect we can see through into the new year?
Well, I still think there will be growth in house prices, but it'll be far more modest. We've seen a slowdown, I think, already. Growth in house prices closer to 3 or 4% rather than the 10 to 15% that we had been seeing. So just some moderation as both sides. We'd build more houses and there's a bit of a pullback in demand. That should see some moderation in 2015.
Hans, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us. We look forward to seeing you in the new year. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
The financial markets may be celebrating Christmas and New Year, but here at Dukascopy TV, we continue to bring you exclusive interviews and FX insights and analysis, so do stay tuned. For now, though, it is goodbye from me.